Hi, I'm Brian Lottie, and today I will be doing a comparison of Allport and Erickson's theories with assistance from Knight and Piccola. So we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So here we have Erickson's 8 stages. I won't go through each stage, but I will use the image to support the research that Knight has found. She proposes a link from Erickson's stages to an 8-stage model of psychodynamic psychotherapy. She discusses how Erickson's crisis phases is not something to be looked at negatively, but as a way of moving forward in our development. Failure to do so can relate to the intervention of a psychoanalyst to assess where development was stunted. She goes on to suggest that aside from Erickson's individual stages, generativity occurs in which the next stage looks at the previous one to ensure progress. The example given to us is that in the old stage, a person looks at their child to fulfill internal satisfaction, but to do that they need to see their child, who is now an adult, accomplishing something. What this means for Knight's research is psychologists may have to observe a patient's troubles relating to another development stage, not just the stage Erickson lays out. So if you look on the right side, you see the 8-stage model of psychodynamic psychotherapy, which Knight suggests to utilize, and it shows you on the left-hand side Erickson's 8 stages of psychosocial development and how they relate. Knight states that while Erickson's stages go from stage to stage through crisis, shift from one therapy stage to the next is triggered by search. Knight goes on to explain how important trust is in a therapeutic session. She claims that this goes back to Erickson's first stage when trust versus mistrust is established. This helps to develop the virtue of hope, and hope that a patient can get better. Part of therapy is to reestablish hope that may be lost due to upbringing. Knight concludes by stating that by having an understanding at which Erickson's stage a person is stuck in, psychologists may use the psychodynamic stages as a model to assess and assist a patient. Now I'm going to start getting into Allport's theory, or Allport's trait theories, and Piccola's research. As you see here, you see how Allport defines cardinal, central, and secondary traits, while Piccola's research is a little bit different than I expected. I'll go ahead and start with his. In his research, he is striving to express the idea that we need to review Allport's trait theory. His goal is to highlight that the traits of the Big Five theory are traits of temperament, not personality, that personality traits are adaptations to the individual's life and cultural differences, which are a factor that affects development, and finally, that Allport has contemporary views rather than historical and out-of-date ones. Piccola believes that, as Allport, that many people develop common traits but are as unique as everyone grows up differently, meaning that how much a person relates to a certain trait may vary. He goes on to explain that Allport's theories were being rejected initially due to scientific psychology becoming popular, and it was difficult to measure Allport's trait theory when it came to individual uniqueness. Now Piccola jumps into the Big Five theory. It was supposed to make up a person's profile based on 5 factors. The result of the test this theory provided shows a distinct line between factors of temperament and personality. The result from Cattell's research in this area only presents factors of social pressure and culture, but not of the individual. As a result, Cattell cannot support the Big Five. As McRae and Costa altered the adjectives of the test, they showed their willingness to disregard the consequences of different test results, even after admitting they could have received different results. The Big Five are structured as dimensions of individual differences and tendencies to show consistent patterns of thoughts, feelings, and actions. But this is a reflection of Allport's definition of temperament. This shows that the Big Five are based more around temperament rather than the personality. As other researchers point out, the Big Five is further deconstructed over other cultures. Piccola states, Triandis and Suh, in their review, found the Big Five to be well supported in individualistic cultures, but only 4 of the 5 are consistently found in all cultures. These findings all lend support to Allport's traits theory. Each of these cases show that there are common traits, but they are still unique to the individual. Piccola states, to understand the true trait of personality, it is necessary to discover what traits may exist for the person as an individual with techniques other than the nomothetic type. Such traits of the individual person may have originated from particular personal habits of adjustment and become broad determining tendencies that confer consistency on the individual life. This is a direct reflection of Allport's views. So coming on to the compare and contrast. Knight versus Piccola had very different topics to discuss, as well as Erikson's views on the stages of development versus Allport's trace theories. But those are just specific theories. I didn't dive into every single one of them because that would take too long. Both of these articles were well written. I am biased in that I enjoyed Knight's assessment more, as she showed how much the two stages integrate. Piccola, while informed, focused more on bashing the Big Five theory than arguing Allport's views on the trait theory. Knight's work reinforces Erikson's stages as a way of helping people, while Piccola is focused more on researching Allport's individual personality traits. I like both theories and find that Erikson's stages set an outline of how a person becomes who they are. Once a psychologist uses that to understand where a person is at, they can then use Allport's theory to hone in on specifics of a person's personality to better help the patient in need. That concludes my presentation, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Have a nice day.